Alright, so it's Thursday morning. We are heading to Ohio, about 45 minutes outside of Cleveland. Got a layover in Chicago, but Ken and I are heading out there to go pick up a couple really cool guitars. The two primary guitars, both built in 1954, first-year Stratocaster and an early Les Paul Jr. So super excited about that. I'm gonna hang out with my buddy Gavin Coe, who's out there. Awesome guitar hunter, guitar player. It's gonna be a fun little weekend. Never been to Ohio, so we're gonna enjoy it. All right, we just landed in Cleveland, Ohio. We're gonna chill tonight, go to the hotel, grab some dinner. Happy to be here, feels good, and let's get it going. So it's 10:30 Friday morning, and we're gonna check out a couple guitars. Just got to Gavin Coe's house. Hung out last night, we had a great time. It's a beautiful autumn day, cornfields, pumpkins on people's porches. It's just a real vibe out here, I'm loving it. So we've been working on these two guitars for a couple months. It's as much as you can do from a distance, which can be kind of hard. But today, I get to see them in the flesh for the first time. I'm really excited, so let's go check it out. What's up, bro?
How's it going, man?
Ah, good to see you again,
Good to see you too, brother.
All right, I'm excited. 1954 Strat, 1954 Les Paul Jr. That's the first year of that as well. Let me start with the Strat. Oh yeah. Wow. So it's got an old reef in. It's actually really good. You can see all that cool grain, old Bakelite pickup covers, which of course are kind of deteriorating. You know, this is a cool Players 54 we were chasing. It's not totally mint. It's not totally clean, but that's cool. Somebody has the opportunity to get a first year Stratocaster. Gosh, that neck. It's a pretty classic 54 neck right there. And take a look at that headstock. It's gorgeous. These tend to be a little bit heavier. It's not an anchor, but she's, you know, cornbread didn't miss her. This is everything I could have wanted, honestly, man. I really appreciate you helping me on this one.
Of course, man.
Comes in 10. I love it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Thank you, man.
All right, so this one I'm really excited about too. Student model. You know, they don't do the carved top that the regular Les Paul standards had, and the gold top. It's flat, no neck binding. And there's something special about not having the neck binding. They're just kind of free and really pop out. These are the pure rock and roll guitars. You know, people say the one pickup, less magnetic pull. There's a couple of reasons why these are just so cool, but absolutely beautiful. Can't beat that old school two-tone sunburst finish. Man, 1954. So two pieces, 1954. This one is obviously a lot more original. Original case, that faux alligator. But wow, this thing has it going on, man. It's a fun guitar. Oh God. That's super cool. So tonight, Gavin's got a show. He's been playing all weekend, and we're gonna take these two guitars, bring them to the gig, get them on stage, have Gavin, run through their paces one last time before we fly them back to Seattle. I brought my 52 Telly, so I'm gonna jump up and we're gonna have some fun, which is so cool. Thank you, man. It's gonna be a blast. Well, dude, thank you so much. This deal's awesome, and all right, let's see what you got, man. I want to see the Gavin collection.
All right. My grandpa Coe used to keep Buckeyes in his pocket for good luck, and I've always done the same thing.
Dude.
Got one for each of you guys.
Oh, man. That's so cool, Gavin.
Hell yeah, man. Welcome to Ohio. The nice thing is, like, with it being so far back and there being just so many trees, like, all around and stuff, we go back there and we have, like, acoustic jams around the campfire all night, and you'll be standing right here. You can't hear us playing back there all the way back here.
Awesome.
Good place to strum a couple old acoustics out here, man.
Hell yeah, dude. I got a bunch of neat ones. I got a 1920s Brazilian rosewood Washburn.
Oh God, like the old Tonk Brothers kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, I got it for
love those.
I got it for $50 from an extremely condescending Englishman. He like literally listed as like piece of junk Washburn, $50. Thought it was like a modern import or something. So I get there and I start asking about the Martins. I'm like, how much are you asking for the Martins? And he's just like, oh, you can't afford those. And I was like, all right, you know, like, how about I take this guitar, sell it, come back, and then I can afford one, you know?
Vibrolux, dog. That's exactly what mine looks like. Is it a converted to a 112?
This is my hillbilly air conditioner. I just like fill this up with ice and I just stick it in here.
What's the make on this?
Ampeg baby bass. So this has got like 3 or 4 layers of rock wool sound dampening insulation, and then it's got like a sound dampening blanket, and then it's got like a rubber mat, and then it's got like another 2 layers of sound dampening insulation.
Yeah, it feels really good in here. Did you do all the upholstery on this?
Yeah, it's kind of half-assed.
Hold up. It's rad though.
It's yeah, it was a church pew. I went and picked that up.
How much?
$100. And the thing that was weird with this was the 2 names carved into it was Dave and Earl, which is my dad's first and middle name. And I was like, just weird.
What a trip.
Yeah. So my family moved to Ohio about 1822. My great-grandfather's great-grandfather's dad was the one who brought us. And he was an abolitionist. His dad was a Revolutionary War veteran down in Virginia, and he had a plantation. And he stole a bunch of his dad's slaves and he set them free in Ohio. I started playing guitar right about the time that I was like 12 or 13 years old. I'd wanted to be a musician for a while. I wanted to play drums or something like that, and that just wasn't happening. And I went down to go see my grandparents in Florida, and I was able to convince them to let me sell all my video games and buy a guitar. I've just been playing guitar ever since. The first thing that I really got into really heavily was probably Jimi Hendrix. My dad sat me down one day, right when I first started playing guitar. He's like, so you want to play guitar? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, here's what you got to watch. And he showed me Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock, Pantera live somewhere in the 90s, maybe Seoul, Korea, and Eddie Van Halen. And it's like, those were just my 3 guitar heroes when I first started playing. And then it's like later developed more into like Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, like a lot of that more blues-oriented stuff, but I mean, I still listen to everything. I started getting into vintage guitars when I was about 16, 17, just because I started listening to more blues and older styles of music. Really wanted to start looking into the instruments that they were playing, because I couldn't make my guitar sound like that, so it's like, you know, that may be why I can't sound like that. And then I just really fell in love with the history behind it. So it's not only like a cool piece of like vintage guitar history, but it's a cool piece of like vintage American history too. Especially looking at old pictures, when you get an old guitar and you can see that guitar looking exactly the same 50, 60 years ago in a room full of people that are all gone now, that feels like a piece of them still in that guitar. My buddy Gary Rice says Cleveland's the place where musicians come to die when their tours don't work out and they hawk all their gear. And it's because we're right in between Chicago, New York, Nashville, all these places. It's like just perfectly in the center of all those. People find them under their beds and stuff like that. It's like Grandpa's old guitar that he played in a Leonard Skinner tribute band 50 years ago, and he wanted the same guitar that they were using. And like how they say in New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. In Cleveland, if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. The 54 Strat's killer, and just being one of the very first 500 holding that, I mean, it's like, this is what every Strat is trying to be, is one of these ones. Feeling that hand-carved neck. They make everything on CNC machines and stuff now, which is nice because it's really, everything's very consistent, but you really lose that human element. Because you can feel the hours that somebody put in the Fender factory sweating away, you know, down in the middle of the summer. Like that old wood, just nothing resonates like old maple and ash. I really like the 54 Junior because there's just something that's really special about 50s Les Pauls. Because if you think about what Gibson was trying to accomplish at the time, they weren't trying to make a solid body rock and roll guitar. They were trying to make arch top hollow bodies, not feedback. And that was the way that they did it, was by doing the solid body guitar. So what I usually find with a lot of those old 50s Les Pauls is they just resonate like cannons. It's just like picking up a hollow body or an acoustic sometimes. There's just this resonance there with 50s Gibsons that just really isn't there past that era. I'm definitely really grateful being able to have a couple of 54s in the house for a month, you know. Having that piece of history, having that kind of sound, I mean, it's impossible to replicate, you know. That's why these guitars end up going for so much. This guitar is a 1960 Gretsch Country Club. It belonged to a local musician down in Mansfield, Ohio. His name was Ken Markley. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and I got this guitar from one of his bandmates. As I was talking to him while he was selling me the guitar, he told me, he's like, Mansfield, and I was like, oh, that's where my family's from. He starts telling me about Ken being the house musician in this bowling alley called Park Lane's Bowling Alley, and he was also a manager of this music store called Metronome Music. And it was crazy because as I'm driving home with the guitar, I call my grandfather. I'm like, hey, did you guys ever hear of Park Lane's Bowling Alley? And he said, yeah, my parents and I used to be in a bowling league there when I was a kid. And like, they would go down there and they would hear the bands and stuff like that while they were playing. And my grandparents had their prom there when they were seniors in high school. So my grandparents heard this guitar when it was brand new, basically back in the 1960s. This guitar was only, you know, it was a used guitar then, 2-3 years old. It wasn't a vintage instrument, you know. Like if you went back when they were teenagers and said like, hey, one day, 50 some years from now, your grandson's gonna own that guitar. But it was just a coincidence. Like I didn't know any of that. And it's a killer guitar on top of that. I mean, this is definitely one that is staying in my personal collection.
We're meeting up with Gary Rice, or Guitar Guy Gary, legendary guitar tech of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why don't you tell us what we're gonna do, man, and play us a song here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Amazing Grace. Of course, if I play with a group, I usually use a bandsaw. If I play for dances, I use a jigsaw. And if I'm having a particularly bad day, which I never have, but it's nice to dream, I use a coping saw. Greetings from Cleveland, where everything happens in strange ways. Jiggle your leg, get excited, man. That's right. There you go, see that?
I might need a couple more lessons, Gary.
Now bend down and you'll go higher. I'm gonna take you higher. There you go. See, he's a natural.
Going and seeing a blues band and watching them play the same instruments from the same years that those records were all cut on, I mean, it's like you very seldom see that anymore, just because it's difficult for the working musicians to be able to go out and get those kinds of instruments. So it's like anytime I get the chance where I can let someone else hear it, you know, I always jump at that. Tonight we're taking the 54 Strat and the 54 Junior out to Smedley's, which is like a biker bar, but they love absolutely everything there, from Miles Davis to ZZ Top. We're gonna go out, just do a nice classic blues gig with some nice classic blues instruments.
All right, so Saturday morning, and last night was so fun, man.
Hell yeah.
Today, we're gonna go pick up this guitar that Gavin built. It's a Les Paul that he basically used Tyler's 59 burst authentication video as a roadmap to put together, which I'm really excited to see. I know you've been working on it for a while.
It's been close to 3 years since you guys put that out, so yeah, I started it that week.
Cool.
Yeah.
And last night I noticed my jack on my telly was cutting out, so we're gonna bring it to Attila, Gavin's guitar tech and guitar builder, and see if he can fix it up while we're here.
So still waiting for a couple of parts to come in. Like, it literally was finished this week. Timing could not have been any better. Still waiting on like a poker chip and a couple other like plastics. Attila's got the knobs. All right. Wow, that is gorgeous. Wow. I based the finish off the Dutch burst, the 1961. It was like one of the last bursts that went out, and that guy in Holland. And we took like measurements from, I got blueprints from I think Bartlett, and Gary Rice was giving us measurements from just different bursts he worked on at the Rock Hall over the years. I got the fretboard from Max Baronet, like the celluloid inlays. I mean, Tyler's video really like was like got the ball rolling for me on this.
So you get a chunky neck on that thing too.
Oh yeah.
Any significance to the serial number?
Lauren's birthday.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect weight. Cool neck.
Sinker mahogany.
It feels really good, man.
I'm not trying to convince anyone it's a Gibson, so that's why I had to put Attila on the headstock, you know.
Yeah, that coloring on the Attila is perfect too. Check that out. Really cool dark burst too. It's fun to see that. Damn, that's gorgeous. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Nice job, dude. Good work.
I got rid of the console
And just went to like a little control station.
Yeah, I got a.
Oh, this is great, dude. Damn.
This little deal.
Dual distressors. Oh man, this is.
Running everything through the burl.
Oh, the lights are coming through. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Damn. This is great.
What's the problem?
It was just cutting out, pretty scratchy, and it could be. All right, so we are outside the Dr. Z amp factory, which this is a big moment for me. We started carrying Dr. Z right when we opened. They're amazing amps. I've owned multiple myself. I've been talking to Dr. Z on the phone since I was a kid. Never met in person, so here we are. Gavin just drove us out. We're gonna go meet the man himself who came down here just to open it up for us. So this is really cool. I'm stoked to see what's cooking in there, and yeah, let's go meet the guy. Oh my gosh, man, are you kidding me?
Everything's set up.
Yeah.
You want to go play? Let's go
Dude, hell
play.
yeah, man.
The
So
shop's
cool.
the shop. I mean, if you want to walk.
I would love a quick walk
Okay.
through, man. I'm like, this
Come
is
on.
like candy land for me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Everybody's got their little spot.
Wow.
This is where all the repairs are done. This is all the bills are done.
Cool.
And, you know, all the transformers, they're all custom made for us. They're all, you know.
Those look
Dr.
like
Z.
heavy boxes.
Yeah, yeah. So we got a forklift.
Oh yeah.
And they're all over, and chassis are all over. And, you know, it's getting harder and harder, Trevor, to get stuff. It's unbelievable.
Totally, man.
You know, aluminum is getting hard to get. So's copper. Those are Schumacher trannies. I ordered those trannies in January. They just came yesterday.
No shit. Wow.
And then, you know, there's speakers. We have a container in the back that's just filled with speakers.
Celestins for days and
Oh, yeah.
oh man. Cool.
So,
What's the Z Master? I don't think I've seen one of these.
yeah, that's the new Joe Walsh amp. The Who took the James Gang out on tour initially.
Yeah.
Kind of broke them. And him and Pete Townsend became buddies. At the end of the tour, they kind of exchanged gear. Like you see football players now change jerseys
Yeah.
after a game or something. So Joe gave Pete Townsend his 310 Bandmaster, original 310 Bandmaster 57 or whatever, and a Gretsch 6120. Pete Townsend went on to record the Who's Next album with that guitar and that amp, and Joe's never fucking forgot it. Years have gone on. I built lots of amps for Joe. Always this 310 comes into the conversation. And he bought one and he hated it. He goes, I'm gonna throw it in the pool, you know. I said, Joe, no, don't send it to me. Let me see what I can do. I tweaked it all up. I sent it to him. He loved it. He goes, man, let's do a fucking signature amp. I said, okay.
Cool.
So that's it. And it's done pretty well. For us, you'll hear it. And I think it'd be a great amp for you guys because,
Yeah. Well, you know, it's
you know, that vintage stuff.
That's got some meat behind it, man. That's really cool. Hi, baby. That's a lefty 52.
Man.
Kind of cool.
Are you lefty-handed?
So I'm right-handed, but play lefty. Weirdest curse you could ask for in a guitar shop. But when I find them, I know they're for me. So
What year is this?
52.
Yeah. I was born in 51.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. It's about the same shape as me.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
pleasure. Yeah, no.
Diabolical.
Okay, so Saturday night, we're just kind of embracing the last few hours in Cleveland. It's been so awesome. So big thank you to everyone in Ohio that we met. You know, exceeded my expectations. We're gonna go to the House of Blues. I'm gonna sit in with Gavin and his band tonight one last time. Those guys, I mean, again, everyone has been so sweet and welcoming, and we've just had a great time. We're tired, we've been running around, and you know, the whole time change kind of got a hold of us this time, but what a great trip. Couple awesome guitars, some great connections. So big thanks to Gavin and everyone else that we met, and back to Seattle we go.